66, Chat with Gunner. I've realized I need to talk a little bit louder at the beginning because the music's still playing, so I'm gonna start doing that. I'll listen back to the last one.
I've been tweaking it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, man, long night. It's late. What time is it?
Late.
It's
9:47.
Can we get on a schedule? We have not been on schedule like in the past 4 weeks. It's been baseball.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Gunner. I've been here.
Yeah.
On time.
Yeah. Well, you got other things to do, you know? It's not just me. So.
Of course.
All right, man. Yeah, so it is Thursday. It is damn near 10 o'clock. Just got back from Blazers lacrosse game. I've been to my first two and my only two lacrosse games this year.
Okay.
A little bit of like a hockey, rugby, football, soccer.
Lacrosse is different.
Yeah, very different. Bunch of rules that don't make sense and some that do. So it is what it is.
But it's a sport.
That's
to
sport.
Watch.
It's a sport to watch, and if any of my family's doing it, I'll be there. And then we went to go eat, and before all that, we had our second day in the field or in the grass in the yard working on sprint training with Marcus.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my little soapbox last week was, hey, parents, work your kids at their sport. And now my thought process is still the same, but, we're going into football. Baseball slowly wrapping up, going into football. So now it is teach the kid how to run properly. Teach the kid how to run fast. Make him faster. Get him moving side to side. Get him learning how to have a little bit of knee bend and bend over and touch lines and run and stay in a straight line and follow cones and jump over hurdles, those type things. Things that you usually start doing around middle school. But we're starting at 5. So we're going to do this every day up until football season, which should be around August. I'm going to coach. I'll most likely be the head coach of this football team. Therefore, the drills that we're doing now will be the drills that we evaluate the team once we get to the first practice of conditioning. And Marcus should be in the top tier of all of those drills because he's been doing them for 2 months is my thought process.
Yeah.
Which means I can put him at whatever position I want to and not feel bad because he's obviously doing the drills the best.
Yeah.
That's my thought process on that. I want him to play running back. Everybody wants their kid to play running back. Everybody wants their kid to play quarterback. Everybody wants their kid to get the ball. Well, I'm going to coach, and he's going to play running back. If he's not playing running back, he's going to play like a slot back and get the ball occasionally. So I'm recruiting right now, trying to find some kids that I want, talk to some parents that I want their kids, and baseball's fun. Football is my thing. So we're going to have a really good time.
All I've got to say is I want to get just a snapshot of Marcus in 10 years.
In 10 years?
And just see how all of this turns Marcus
At 15?
At 15 into the baddest motherfucker.
Well, here's my thought process, man. So there was an athlete. It was the 80s or 90s. It was I always mess up his last name. You can Google it. It's Todd Maravich or Marakovich or something. Anyway, so they did an ESPN 30 for 30 on him.
Okay.
And his dad, when he was born, he never had fast food. He never had oils or anything.
Wow.
Every meal was prepped. Damn. From the bottle to high school.
Jeez.
Every meal was prepped. Every day they trained. And this was back then, so it was not the best equipment, but whatever the best, kind of
yeah.
Drago. Have you seen Rocky IV yet? You watched it yet?
Yeah.
You did watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about that too.
Well.
But so Rocky IV and Drago training, that's the type of equipment they have. Anyway, so the guy is the number one recruited high school football player, goes to college. He's a first-round draft pick, and then he's just a complete failure in the NFL, gets addicted to drugs, just bombs out. Kind of got one of those where he was not pushed in a good way. He was pushed in a this is the only way. So he
was just pushed. He wasn't coached.
Yeah, there's a give and take there. Like I say, I take Marcus out there, we practice, and we play. That's the biggest thing. We practice and we play. One of these days, it'll turn to practice only. But right now, we practice and we play. So yeah, I was we went to go eat, and this is gonna be a very rambled cluster of a show. So we went to go eat, and it literally took forever. That's why I'm late getting here. Like
Fair
it was 30 minutes before we sat down, and it was actually 45 minutes.
Where'd you go to eat?
The sushi place on like in Coolidge Park.
Okay.
Sushi not or whatever it's
I know
called.
what you're talking
Yeah. It's always good. Always good.
Yeah.
Anyways, went there. It was just slow. Not bad, just slow.
Which is weird for a Thursday night.
For Thursday. Well, they were doing 50% off for all healthcare workers. So healthcare workers were calling to go orders at 50% off.
That's fair.
Pretty much from every hospital.
That's pretty cool though.
So she told me that, and I said, "So what's the qualifications of being a healthcare worker? Is there identification that you show, or how does this work?" And she was like, "Well, you just say you're a healthcare worker." I was like, "I'm a healthcare worker." And she's like, "Well," I was like, "I'm not really." So I was on my phone, and a notification popped up. So Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather had their press conference today for their fight on June 6th, I believe. So it's about a month away. It's exactly a month away. And Jake Paul was at the press conference. So the press conference is over. Floyd is doing some interviews, just talking about the fight. And Jake Paul comes and gets in Floyd's face where all the cameras are. Well, they had a little fun back and forth, saying some things. Floyd was saying, like, "I'll fight you and your brother the same night," that type of thing.
I'm watching the video now. Good Lord.
So,
what an idiot.
So Jake Paul rips Floyd Mayweather's hat off of his head and says, "Got your hat."
Gets about 3 feet.
Yeah, gets about 2 steps away from him, and Floyd's 6'7", 280-pound black bodyguard just like reaches his 80-inch wingspan across Floyd, yanks on Jake, grabs him. Jake's trying to get away. If you turn the volume up, you can kind of hear it. It's like Jake's getting away. He's like, trying to be funny at the same time, like, "Got your hat, got your hat, got your hat." And then somehow or another, Jake gets a black eye, and his shirt's about ripped off his body. And
you just go to his Instagram. He's got it in his stories.
Yeah.
Talk about posting your L, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But I mean, so here's my thing, though. There wasn't much hype behind the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight. The hype is behind Jake.
Yes.
When it comes to the Paul brothers right now. So Jake literally just sold this fight for his brother.
Uh-huh.
The problem is you just took an exhibition with a half-heartedly having fun, retired grandpa Floyd Mayweather, and you probably just put that kid into legit boxing camp for the next 4 weeks, and he's probably going to kill Logan Paul. Like that's how I see this playing out. And Logan was interviewed after the whole thing happened. He was like, "Man, I told Jake not to do that. Like, I told him not to do that. Now all this is going to do is come back on me. Like, now not only do I have to face the greatest boxer of all time, I've got to face the greatest boxer of all time who's pissed off at my family." Yeah, it's not a good situation.
I wonder if, like, next time Logan sees Mayweather, he's just like, "Sorry, dude."
I mean, I would.
Like, I feel like at that point, like, you have to make amends, even though it's for your brother, because I would much rather see Logan Paul be, like, super respectful and, like, take this fight seriously.
Yeah.
Win or lose, take it like a man and, like, not be a douche like Jake is.
Right.
I would much rather that, and that be the Logan Paul redemption story.
Yeah.
That makes everyone like Logan Paul again.
So, in the press conference, I was listening to clips of it. They had a pretty good back and forth where where Floyd was calling Jake out for the stuff that happened in Japan and was like, "What I'm going to do to you on June 6th is for the people of Japan." And then Logan, pretty quick with it, comes back and goes, "Excuse me, is this the point where you're trying to rally an entire country to support you?" And he's like, "No, it's not anything like that." And then he goes, "I'm 50-0. I've been doing this for 25 years. It is what it is." And then Logan goes, "Well, I mean," or Floyd goes, "I know what you did to those Japanese people." And then Logan goes, "I know what you did to your wife. You're not 50-0. you're 51-0.
Damn. Holy shit.
So that was pretty good. That was a pretty good comeback.
I feel like
That was pretty good.
that's the most you can make out of that situation.
Yeah, that was good. If
Jeez.
you're gonna come with one, come with one. So that was cool. Then it was just a bunch of cheesy stuff, and then Jake made his way up to the stage and was like trying to untie Floyd's Air Forces, and they were like making fun that his like Air Forces had some scuffs on them, and like
Again, I feel like this is the turning point between the Paul brothers. You get the good cop, you get the bad cop. The bad cop's just the worst kind of human being.
man, I'm trying to figure out what the play is. Like, if they could set up, I don't think Jake's gonna do an exhibition. If they could set up Floyd Mayweather versus both the Paul brothers in a pay-per-view, sign me up.
As long as it's not on Triller.
It's not. It's on Showtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Showtime in Miami inside of a stadium. Yeah, this one's gonna be a legit show. This is not Triller.
Okay.
And I don't think Jake continues with Triller much more.
There's a lot of blowback on Triller right now. I don't know if you've caught any of this,
I've
but
probably heard some.
H3H3 is currently being sued. Well, Triller is threatening to sue people. Whether or not those come to light, that's another story. But they're basically saying, pay us $39 or $59 or whatever it was for the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
or we'll sue you for bootlegging it, re-recording or restreaming it, all of that stuff. And H3H3 happened to mention like, oh yeah, I didn't pay for that shit. I watched it.
What is H3H3?
He's a old YouTuber.
Gotcha.
He does podcasts now. He's kind of a weird guy now. His videos aren't the same as what they used to be, but he's definitely just like a big name in the YouTube sphere.
Gotcha.
Like,
cool.
He's picked fights with James Charles. He's picked fights with Keemstar. Just like
He's a YouTuber.
he's a YouTuber.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but him saying evidently that he did not pay for the Jake Paul fight this past time. Triller evidently sent him either a cease and desist or like a subpoena or something like that for a lawsuit
For $60.
for $60.
Well, that was the most pirated event since Conor versus Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's the internet, guys. Like,
Exactly. Like there's a point where if you put something on the internet or you stream something at the very least, you have to know that people are just recording. Like people literally go to live streams, pull up OBS, and then just screen record.
yeah,
That's all they do.
right.
That's their entire job, and then they repost it and get, a couple 100,000 views, make their money. This one's a little bit different. They obviously can't just go do that, but people are still going to go do it, and then they'll watch it on their own and not have to pay for it.
So that's why, as much as I hate the ESPN model where you have to pay for ESPN Plus in order to actually be able to pay for the UFC pay-per-views, it keeps it legit.
Yeah.
Like,
So wait, you have to pay for ESPN Plus,
yes,
and then you pay for a pay-per-view.
yes. So
It's like Disney Plus.
Well-
Oh, it is Disney Plus, isn't it?
I'll say it this way. So you can buy a pay-per-view, but it's like $90. Or you can pay the $4.99 a month for ESPN Plus and get all these free sports that you can't get access to, and get the pay-per-view for $59.99. It's just
That makes sense.
But still, like, it keeps it. You have to go through the ESPN app to order
Yeah.
the pay-per-view. Which,
But I mean, to be fair, if you're really wanting to watch a fight like that, you probably would pay for ESPN Plus anyway.
dude, like, all the Mox games come through ESPN Plus. Like, for people that don't get to see that.
Yeah.
Like, that pays for itself right there. And then you get all the free ESPN fight nights
Yep.
for $4.99 or whatever it is. That pays for itself. And then you're saving. I mean, I buy the UFC.
Aren't the 30 for 30s on there too?
Dude, it's the ESPN network.
So I remember when the Bruce Lee one came out, I just used my parents' Disney Plus account because they got the package of like
Yeah.
ESPN Plus, Hulu Plus. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And they don't use ESPN Plus, but they got it for,
whatever
80% off or whatever like that for like 2 years or whatever. And I watched the 30 for 30 through that. That's honestly, if you wanted to go through and watch all those 30 for 30s, that's at least a good solid month of.
That's worth $5.
Yeah, that's worth $5.
Yeah. Yeah, really good. So, and they have like articles and stuff that some of the journalists write that you don't get access to. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
But yeah, man. So that's that. So that fight's coming up June 6th. And what else do we have coming up? I mean, we got Connor and Dustin coming up again. I'll try to get tickets.
Is that a rematch?
It's a trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What else? Cowboy Cerrone's fighting this weekend. And, oh, my God. Speaking of fighting, let's fight right now, Ethan. What are we doing?
It is 10 o'clock at night.
It is 10 o'clock at night.
Why are there fights?
The PFL is on the night.
Oh.
Yeah. And freaking Kayla Harrison is fighting. And she won already. Dang it. All right. Well, that was what I wanted to know. So Kayla Harrison is a savage. Think of her as a bigger, heavier, better Ronda Rousey. Yeah. So she fights like 145 or 155, which the UFC doesn't even have. And she was a judo Olympic gold medalist a couple times, which Ronda was never Olympic medalist. She was always like silver or bronze. And then she's 8-0 so far in her MMA career. She won the night, first round, TKO. I'm assuming it's ground and pound. But, dude, she's just next level. I really wanted to watch that fight because she hadn't fought in like a year. Dang it. So betting on her was minus $2,000 to win $100. Yeah, but I mean, it's worth it. Yes, it is what it is. But I was going to put money on her tonight with my knockout. Damn it. There it goes. What else we got here? What's coming up next week? Oh, I got a guest next week. Yeah, in studio.
Who is it?
So there's this kid. I'm not going to say his name yet. There's this kid that was at UTC after I left. Maybe even like a couple years after I left because he just graduated here recently. Anyways, he has jumped into MMA.
Oh.
And he's 2-0. And he's holding a belt for a promotion in Tennessee. And he's fighting at Camp Jordan next Saturday. Do you want to go?
Sure. No, not next Saturday. I'll be out of town.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'll go. Yeah, so it's like one of those promotions like Gary's trying to start up in Georgia, like the RFL, but it's called Valor, VFC. Valor
I've heard Valor.
Yep. So he's the light heavyweight champion. He's 2-0. Little jack guy.
What year did he graduate?
Dude, I mean, it had to be fairly recent. Let me see.
Is he my age?
Maybe.
I might know him. That's why I'm concerned.
Torres Finney?
No.
All right.
Never mind.
So, let me see here. He was a junior in 2019, so it means he was a senior
2020.
in 2020.
Yeah.
If he played his full career, which I'm assuming he probably did, but it just says 2016, 17, 18, 19.
I would reckon that we're at the same age, but I didn't know. So
yeah, so he goes by the Punisher.
Awesome. He's already good in my book.
Let's see here. So he's a big wrestling fan. I went to T.O.'s Hall of Fame induction because my brother-in-law. Do you remember this? My brother-in-law was he played with him, so I got to sit kind of up close with all the teammates and stuff. Well, all the current players at the time were in the back, and this is when me and Tom Arth, the head coach at UTC, were having a little bit of it. We're not really in a good. We're still not in a good spot. But so this kid walks up to me, and he was pretty jacked, big traps, shorter but thick, looks like a fullback to me. So he comes up, he's like, "Hey man, huge wrestling fan, love everything you're doing, keep up with you," that type of thing. I was like, "Oh man, cool, respect, whatever." And then I thought I saw this kid again the other day in a picture on Facebook, and I looked at it, and he's fighting, and he's 2-0, and he's a champion. I was like, so I teamed up today. I was like, "Hey man, first of all, didn't realize you're fighting. That's badass. But secondly, I do a podcast here in Chattanooga. If you're training in chat, you got a fight next week. Let's promote your fight on Thursday before we go, and then I'll come check you out on Saturday. And he was like, all right, cool, bet.
Hell yeah.
7 p.m. next Thursday.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a schedule.
Oh.
Back to the schedule, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. See how that goes. But yeah, we'll have him on the show, and we'll have a little old school interview show. We just kind of sit around, talk about some wrestling, and talk about his fight and how he's training and who he's training with. And I don't know, I might want to go down there and train with those guys. So that'll be cool. What else we got going on? Anything cool?
No, not really. I mean, Resident Evil comes out tomorrow, tonight. I'm speculating whether or not I should just drop the $70.
Yeah.
Just buy it so we can both play it.
Yeah.
Make content.
Right. I mean,
I think it'd be funny, but
do I need to beat the game via YouTube? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Obviously.
How long would that take me?
It'd be at least 10 episodes.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
It depends
We'll
on.
figure it out.
Give me some D8. Give me some. Give me some.
Do you want to talk about that, by the way?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
D8. Let's talk about it, because you've been talking about this, 2-3 months now? It seems like maybe it's just been a month.
Probably about a month. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe if anything, no more than 2.
Okay. Because I was interested, because you brought this up, and I looked into it, and I was like, oh, Delta 8. That's just weed. Right?
First of all, it sounds cool.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah. So let me break this down.
Break it down.
Let me break this down from my brain in a simple way of how I try to bring analogies in and break things down. So in 2018, there was a farm bill passed, and I don't know if it was state by state, United States, whatever, federally, but it allowed people to be able to open up CBD stores and grow CBD. And when you grow CBD, you grow marijuana or hemp, right? It's the hemp plant. There's a guy and there's a girl. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The leaf and the
Yes.
actual bud is what you think of when you think of
Yes.
Mary Jane,
Right.
the devil's lettuce.
Then you've got the plant
Yes.
itself,
the root,
the stem.
the stalk, the stem.
Yeah. That is hemp. Hemp has been, banned because it comes with marijuana, but now here recently, hemp is now legal because you can now extract CBD from it.
I wonder.
Right?
Part of me has always wondered, because I did a paper on hemp in high school.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was part of a U.S. history class.
Yeah.
But it was just like, hey, this is the history of hemp.
Yeah.
It baffles me sometimes, because people have made that distinction now of like, oh, we can use hemp, we can't use marijuana.
Yeah.
What do we do with all of this marijuana coming from our hemp plants? Just take it out back and burn it.
Yeah. And stand by it.
Just stand by it.
Yeah.
Like it's so silly
It
that
is.
you draw a line literally on the plant itself.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But Delta 8,
Yeah. So
it's totally legal.
there's a buddy of mine hit me up one time or another, and he said, hey, man, have you heard of Delta 8? And I said, no. What is that? And he goes, well, it's pretty much weed. And I said, well, no, it's not, because you can buy it. It's probably,
Because weed's illegal.
yeah, it's
man.
probably
Come
like
on.
CBD. I can see that. And he goes, no, seriously, why don't you go try like a gummy or a brownie or something and see how it feels? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. A couple weeks go by, and I was driving by one, and there's so many pop-up stores here in Chattanooga of like CBD this, CBD that. And on the windows of all these stores, if you look at it, it's like stress reliever, anxiety, inflammation. They put all the symptoms up there you might have, and then they'll put on there like edibles, stuff like that. So yeah, I've had CBD in the past, and CBD is good for like as an anti-inflammatory at a high enough milligram. But then sometimes it just kind of hurts your stomach because you think you got to take too much. You don't really get like a feeling from it. It's just more of like a medicine. I don't know.
It works passively.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
the only CBD I've ever tried just tasted awful. I couldn't do it.
like a tincture. Is
Yeah,
that what
it
you
was a
had?
tincture, and it was like, put it under your tongue.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put it under my tongue, and then it just seeps on top
I
of
know,
my tongue.
but those work the best.
Really?
As far as a CBD, like out of the gummies, and now, okay, they make a CBD pain relieving ointment cream, like a BioFreeze.
Yeah.
That shit is
I've heard it works really
very expensive, but
yeah.
incredible. It's like $90 a jar of like a little one.
A lot of people that I hear that buy CBD are either, cancer patients that are trying to get some relief, or people with dogs that give their dogs CBD. I'm like,
chills dogs out, bro.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there's this thing called Delta 8, and what Delta 8 is it's a different type of THC. So there's Delta 9 THC, which is what is extracted from marijuana, which is what is tested on drug tests for THC. That is when you talk THC, that is Delta 9 THC from marijuana. Delta 8 THC is from the hemp plant and is legal through the Farm Bill, just as if it was CBD, and most Delta 8 also has CBD in it. So people tell me, hey, it's the same thing. Well, no, it's not. So let's check it out. So I go in there, I go get some Delta 8, get some brownies, get some gummies, whatever. They're like, hey, have you ever done this before? And I'm like, have I ever had an edible? And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've had a couple edibles or whatever. I don't know. It wasn't like no specific milligrams or anything. Just I've had one in the past before. And they're like, okay, well, whatever milligrams you're doing then, do the exact same thing with this. So be careful. And I was like, well, pretty much when I hear instructions on a milligram to take something, I double that. Like that's immediately supplements, medications. Like it's just here's why I think that. You're probably telling that to a guy that's 5'8", 165 pounds, an average person, or maybe a girl who's 5'5", 120 pounds. I'm not either of those. I'm both of those. Okay, so I need both of those.
I'm both of those.
Yeah, I'm both of those.
I'm pretty sure you meant combined, but
the same thing. Yeah, I'm both of them. Right. Anyway, so
we are an equal opportunity employer here.
Right. Exactly.
We do not judge.
Yeah, there is no gender. I'm just all of it. So anyways, so I'm like, yeah, give me whatever. I'm like, so what's like the most I should take? And they're like, you should probably take 25 milligrams. And I was like,
that seems low.
So that's literally like a quarter of a piece of that brownie. No. She's like, no, seriously, you do 25 milligrams and go from there. I was like, all right, cool. So I go home that night. I don't think I had Marcus. Tia was at work or something. Anyways, I popped 50 milligrams of those gummies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting around, and I know that if an edible hits me in about an hour and a half, this will probably hit me maybe in 2 hours or so. So that was kind of like my plan.
Yeah.
So I take it, I sit on the couch, start messing around my phone. Within 45 minutes, I realize I am no longer the same person as I was 45 minutes ago. This is placebo effect.
Oh,
that's what
what you thought?
That's what I thought. This is placebo effect. And then I go over to the mirror and I look at my eyeballs. Not a placebo effect. My eyeballs are completely bloodshot red. So now I'm thinking, how in the hell did I go to Snapdragon Hemp down the road that I've driven past maybe 500 times in the past 2 years?
Exactly. Me too, by the way.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I see this place that looks like just one of those buildings that's like a pop-up shop that's going to be gone in a month. Yep. But it's looked that way for 3 years.
Through COVID, by the way.
Yeah, through COVID. And always has 4 or 5 cars in the parking lot.
Uh-huh. Out of a 5-car parking.
Yeah, out of a gas, like an oil change /
yeah,
the worst spot to pull into in Hickson.
Oh my God, it is
the worst spot.
Every time I pass it, I'm like, how do people get out of there?
Very carefully.
It is so dangerous.
Well, their anxiety's going by the time they leave. So
yeah.
So I go in there, man, and the people are always nice, and I've tried a couple of these things, and dude, I don't know how much longer it's going to be legal. I mean, if you go online, you come up with articles that say like there might be some legislature coming in from some states that are going to make it not legal, and then some states they've actually banned it. But dude, It's not going to happen for at least a year,
Might as well
or
have
at least
it.
2 years.
Enjoy the ride.
And by the time, if they ever try to ban it, it's going to be legal anyways.
Yeah.
You know? So
you have been talking about this. I was interested.
yeah.
I've smoked before. It gives me headaches now.
Yeah.
I cannot stand the smell and or taste.
How about there's no smell?
There's no smell.
But you know why?
There's
Because it's
no-
not marijuana.
Exactly. It's all the marijuana. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So when you said, hey, this isn't marijuana, it's hemp, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So Tuesday, when you came and played Resident Evil, you're like, here, I brought you some goodies.
Yep.
You brought Zoa, which I haven't tried yet. We'll talk about that next week.
Which should be a sponsor.
Should be. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But you also brought me a 12-pack of nice
Snapdragon.
Snapdragon.
25 milligram gummies, which should also be a sponsor.
We should talk to them.
We need, seriously, I will plug the shit out of y'all's place.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm the best plugger. I'll tell everybody. Ask Ethan, give me 20 minutes to try to convince you to do something. And by God, you'll do it.
That is the entirety of the show. I don't know what, like, anyway.
I'm great at peer pressure.
So Tuesday night, I'm like, I've got to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I got out of here at like 9 p.m. I got home. I was sitting down, set my PlayStation back up, sat down, played a little bit of Cyberpunk, realized I probably shouldn't play Cyberpunk if I'm going to get high.
Yeah.
It's only going to make me anxious.
Right.
So I sat down, played Destiny, which is a game that I can play with my eyes closed, asleep.
Really?
There is nothing to it that I have to put my brain into
Gotcha.
to think about.
Gotcha.
It is just it's Call of Duty meets Halo.
Gotcha.
That is exactly what it is. I shoot aliens, I get points, whatever.
Okay.
I popped 2 of these things, and I told myself I've never tried edibles, so I'm going to document this process.
And how many? What was the time frame I gave you?
So 10:45 is when I popped them. You told me like 20 minutes beforehand, give it an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yep.
I did 15-minute intervals. I put on a stopwatch on my phone. Every 15 minutes, beep me. I'm going to take a Snapchat video and just say what's on my mind. We get from 10:48 to 11:48. Not really feeling anything. I thought it was a placebo effect at that hour mark.
Yeah.
Because I started feeling a little bit euphoric, a little light. in my couch.
Muscles loosened up a little bit.
I realized my jaw wasn't clenched anymore, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because I clench my jaw all the time.
Right.
But then 30 minutes more go by. And I'm still taking these videos, and I sent them all to Gunner. Well, up to a point.
Yeah.
Because I just started forgetting. And so I keep I've been drinking water. I only drink water now, which is
Look at you.
yeah. I'm a year in. Haven't had soda in literally a year.
Pretty strong.
Yeah. So I'm drinking plenty of water because I looked it up. Gotta stay hydrated
Probably the most important supplement
for
a human
anything.
body. Right.
But especially when you do edibles. So I'm drinking water, and the last time I remember picking up my water bottle, I went to put it down, and it just fell in front of me. It was off the couch, just straight onto the floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I am now high. I should go lay down. Turn everything off. Turn off my TV. I get up. Don't feel too bad.
Right.
Get ready for bed. Brush my teeth, which was a struggle.
Yeah.
And then I lay back down. And then my phone goes off. And I then turn off the timer and take one last video of just me laying on my bed just
I
saying,
saw that part.
I am very high. And so I'm laying there. And again, I've smoked before, but I don't think I ever got that high.
Yeah.
So these edibles kicked in at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark.
And then you got to ride. Then it's 4 hours.
Then I fell asleep, thankfully,
Yeah.
pretty decently in. But it was like my ears it wasn't ringing in my ears, but
Yeah.
there was like a pressure on my ears. And then it started to multiply out throughout my body.
Yeah.
And it went down in layers from the top down, from one ear to the other.
That's funny.
Just like a I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It felt great.
Yeah.
And so I get to sleep. I wake up the next morning. No side effects.
Yeah.
I'm a little drowsy, but I think
you slept good.
Because I slept good. That's exactly what I reckon. Which I only got like maybe 6-7 hours of sleep. Probably woke up in the middle of a REM cycle. So
happened.
I'm fine with that. Last night, though, and I was telling you this before the show started, I decided I'm going to take another 2. I'm going to lay down. I'm just going to, I had meditated, took my dose halfway through my meditation, got through the meditation, then it started kicking in, laid down, told my Alexa, hey, play music. And I've been on a Pink Floyd kick. And it played Dark Side of the Moon.
Perfect.
And I was like, oh, this is the feeling of being in the 70s listening to Pink Floyd at any point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. And I told myself, this is way too loud. I need to turn it down. Alexa, volume 4. No change. No change in volume. It was already at 4. And I'm like, I know for a fact that 4 does not go to my neighbor's rooms.
Right.
Like, it doesn't break the walls. So this is weird.
It's your hearing is now heightened.
Uh-huh. And I was just like, I think it had it on shuffle because it went from, I think, one of the first few songs of Dark Side of the Moon straight into Cash. That
money,
dude, that cash register opening immediately sobered me up because it was like the vibes of the Dark Side of the Moon soundtrack, and then immediately out of it, just in a snap, and then slowly falling back into it.
Yeah,
it was great. I've decided tonight I'm gonna take another 50.
Yeah.
I'm mulling over if I want to go for 75.
Yeah,
you said go 50, which I think is a terrible idea if I have to work in the next day.
Well, yeah. So I mean, are you off this weekend at all?
I'm not off this weekend at all.
So are you off Monday?
I'm probably off Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, there you go.
So
like
I'm going to like figure out what my off day is, and that night I'm gonna go for 75, maybe 100, because I'm gonna have to go buy me another pack.
So you're going to, and dude, so here's the thing. It's not that expensive.
No.
For what you get.
Mm-hmm.
In considering you could probably take 25 and be fine. You know, like you could probably take 1 and get exactly what you need out of it.
Yeah. But I want to push things.
Oh yeah, dude. So here's what I would do if I was you. Like, so I spent $100 in there the last time I went, and I bought me a 25 milligram bag, you a 25 milligram bag, and 5 250 milligram brownies. I've still got like almost all of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Fair enough.
So, like, it's cheaper than drinking or cheaper than...
It's cheaper than vaping.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think I could do it during the day.
Well, I mean...
I am not one of those people that feels like I could be functioning on that.
Here's my thing about it. I don't think it's I think you could function. I think you could be places. I think you would be fine. I don't think you would be you as if you are when you're sober, but you're not you when you're sober if you're drunk. You know, one of those type things. But it's one of those things where, like, I don't want to be around a bunch of people and being stressed about doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm doing that, like
that would probably be where I take just 25.
Yeah. If I want to do that, like when I do this, I want to take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know when I get out of the shower and I'm ready, it's about time. And then I want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do.
See, I would have to watch a movie that I've seen before.
Yes.
Because I told you I was gonna watch Tenet, but then as I was thinking about, oh wait, it's a Christopher Nolan film. I can't watch like Inception high. I couldn't do that.
Well, you could.
I mean, I could. I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Tenet before, so I don't want to ruin. I want to
Mortal
muddy
Kombat.
the waters.
It's a good one to watch.
That probably would be a really good
It is
one
good to watch.
I-
The older one is when I texted you the other night, I was like, "Hey man, old Mortal Kombat also great." I was doing that.
I'm planning out like what I want to because it's experimenting. It's like figuring out what's because it's like a whole new sense now.
It's a great series, like medicine for Netflix. Like if you want to binge a strong series that's like 30-minute episodes and 10 of them.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, you got about 4 hours to spare. Dude, just eat that thing as you start the first episode and you will watch all the episodes. So I enjoy it, man. I don't know how to explain, like, you don't even have to show your ID. Like, you don't even have to be 18.
I would say that's a little concerning.
It is concerning.
Yeah.
Because I think when it comes to THC of any type or any type of psychoactive drug,
yes,
I think you need to have a fully developed brain.
100%.
So where most people are saying like 21, I am one of the guys that's like, I think everything should be legal. All of it.
Yeah.
Everything that can be taken should be legal with education, and you got to be 25-year-olds.
I think that's fair.
And listen, if people were educated on heroin, guess what? People are probably not doing heroin.
No.
If you're educated on meth, probably not going to do meth. If you're educated on cocaine, it's probably okay to do a little bit of cocaine.
Here's the thing. DARE programs never worked for me.
Yeah.
But I can tell you exactly what worked for me. Seeing people do drugs.
Yes.
Because I did not grow up in a nice neighborhood back in Iowa. I grew up on the west side, around gangs, around drugs, around dilapidated housing, Section 8 housing, basically.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, that's a lot of bad that I just don't want to do. And plus, it was just me and my mother, and there was always that, I don't want to hurt my mom.
Well, dude, here's the thing. Like, I didn't do any of that stuff in high school whatsoever. But, like, if you want to be a good high school athlete, you probably don't need to do drugs.
Exactly.
Any of them. You don't need to drink. Nope. You don't need to smoke. And that's cigarettes. You don't need to smoke weed. You don't need to do edibles. You don't need to take painkillers. You don't need to do any of that shit. You don't need it. Mm-mm. But dude, like, if you're older, you're 25 years old, you have a job, you're paying bills. If you want to go do some cocaine, who is or any of us to tell you can't do cocaine?
Exactly.
If you want to go do some Adderall, if you want to go do some painkillers, if you want to eat some edibles or smoke some weed or drink a 6-pack of beer, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. If you can kill yourself, you should be able to do cocaine. Because people it's cool if you kill yourself. That's fine. You can't do cocaine, though. You go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And to be honest with you, I think there is a line in my head. I wouldn't necessarily want people to go out and do the hard drugs.
Oh, no.
But cocaine, like, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing anything super crazy on coke.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Like, so you've got all these people that do all these drugs anyways.
Exactly.
If the right people are informed, and people are going to hate this. I've had this argument before at work, and people don't like it because they think that, you shouldn't be able to do drugs because it can kill you. Let's just say, I don't know why I keep going back to heroin, because I don't do heroin, guys, by the way. So I've never done heroin, never seen heroin anyways. But if doctors came through and was like, hey, if you take this 10 milligram pill of heroin, you're going to be okay. But if you take 27 milligram pills of heroin or dump them into a spoon and light it on fire and shoot it up your arm, you might die. Like, that's a difference.
Yes.
Like, if it was, hey, if you do this one little line of cocaine, you're probably going to be okay.
But if you bury your face like it's a mound of flour,
yes,
you're probably going to be upset.
Probably, yeah. It's not going to be great.
No.
It's like, if you get this 10 milligram Adderall, you can take this 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. Don't take this 100 milligram Adderall and 4 times a day.
Get a heart attack.
Yeah. Like, it's those type of things.
I think it's Norway that they legalized everything.
Decriminalized everything.
Decriminalized, yes. But they've also they're on the track of, we need to help people. We need to keep people out of jail. We need to keep people on the right track. If they get strung out, we need to help them.
Yes.
All of that stuff. And that's where, to me, that's where we need to get. Yes. We need to stop stigmatizing. One reason people get into drugs is because they're unhappy with their lives. It's a mental health issue. on top of a drug issue.
Right.
So one feeds into the other, and then it's just a vicious cycle.
Well, it's people trying to escape.
Mm-hmm. And that's even with weed.
Yeah.
Like, I heard somebody say it very poignantly here recently. If you're smoking every day, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because there is at some point the difference between smoking to have fun and smoking to escape.
Yeah.
If you're escaping something, whether it be through video games or working out or anything, smoking, there's a problem that you need to address.
Yeah.
And people aren't addressing their problems.
You're
They're
right.
just getting high, so they don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but it's definitely something that I think people should try.
Delta 8 is something worth trying because it's legal.
Yeah, it is 100% legal. It 100%, I'm not going to say it gets you high, because I think when I think high, I think illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it 100% stimulates your mind
Like
in a psychoactive way. And so here's a funny story. The second time I did it, Marcus was home, and I ordered us food. He wanted KFC, so I DoorDashed us KFC. And when I DoorDashed us KFC, it said it'd be there in like 45 minutes. So I knew that was going to be pushing it as far as like my little time frame here. So it hit me like 10 minutes later, and dude, so and like me and Marcus, the conversations we have during these moments are phenomenal. Because listen, if you have kids or if you're hanging around with kids, it's really hard to like have a conversation with a 5-year-old and really be into it. You know, it's because they're going to stutter over some words. They're going to say the same thing. They're going to ask you questions that you're like, what are you, 5? Well, yeah, you are 5. But it's just kind of hard to explain some things because you don't know how to explain it to them. Dude, on this stuff, like Marcus asked me a question and I'll just prop up right next beside him, and dude, we'll deep dive into it. We'll break down, we'll analyze every bit of his question. And I'll ask him, does that make sense? And he'll be like, no. And then I'll explain it a different way. I'll go, does that make sense? And he'll be like, mm-mm. And I'll explain it another way. And I'll go, does that make a little bit of sense? And he'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, well, tell it back to me. And then I'll have him say what he thinks. I'm like, well, it's actually, and I'll like go back around. And dude, we'll spend an hour or something. So we were doing that. And, you know, the time got by, doorbell rings.
Yeah.
Well, usually the doorbell rings and they just walk away with the food, right? That's usually how they just walk away.
Yeah.
But you don't have DoorDash.
Yeah.
Ding dong dash. Like that's how the game works. I don't need to talk to you. You're supposed to bring me my food. That's how
COVID, man.
Yeah.
COVID, come on.
So I walk outside, and I guess your name pops up on like where you order. So I walk outside, I go to KFC, and there's this guy like walking on the sidewalk, like about to get in his car, but you can tell he was kind of stalling, or either my sense of time was a little bit off, one of the two. I usually wait before I walk out there. I don't know if I just went out there or not. Anyways, so he was like, Gunner Miller? And I was like, oh, shit. Immediately. And then he was like,
beans
from Lipsy? And I was like, I'm not at Lipsy anymore, man. And it was one of those things where like, I recognize this guy. And I have no clue what his name is, right? I recognize him. So I start playing like that mode where like, it's like, yeah, man, how's it going? How you been? One of those type things. And he was like, so, you know, how's everything going? And I was like, everything's great, man. You know, working, changed jobs or whatever. And he's like, oh, cool, where you at? So I tell him where I'm at, how everything's going and everything like that. And he goes, cool. Well, Lipsy had a bunch of layoffs during COVID after I left literally the month before COVID. I left in February.
Yeah.
Or January.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit. And they laid off like literally, it was probably a mass layoff of like between 20 and 40 people, which for that office is a bunch. Yeah. So this guy was one of the ones that got laid off. So I'd said, yeah, you know, man, I left on good terms. I always say I left on good terms with Lipsy. Loved Johnny Jones. Mm-hmm. You know, we still speak. I will do anything for him and his family, whatever it is. I'll do anything for the Lipsy family. I love those guys. This was the best route for me. Yeah. And obviously it's paid off. So he goes, yeah, that's good, man. I got fired, you know, during the layoffs during COVID. And then I'm out of it, kind of out there. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm just trying to get inside back to Marcus. And Marcus has now walked out to the steps because he's hungry.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's go wrap this shit up, guys.
Come on,
I'm
man.
ready to eat. So I got my chicken with a bone. Let's go. So anyways, the guy says he has like the Uber sticker and the Lyft sticker and DoorDash sticker, all the stickers. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just doing this. I was like, yeah, it's got to be a great little side gig, huh? You make some extra money. And he goes, no. This is my gig.
Damn.
Has been since I got fired.
How is he gonna react like that to you? Come on.
And I'm super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go, so this is my exact reaction. This is me, like, my mind's a little bit scattered. Marcus is now, I can hear him going, like he's hungry, he's ready to go inside. I was like, yeah, man, well, I don't got time to hear you bitch and complain about that, but, like, I'm going to go inside and eat, so I appreciate you bringing me my food. And I went inside and shut the door. Like, I don't have time for people to bring me my food and then bitch at me because I got out before they got fired. Like, I don't have that.
To be fair, I feel like if you look at it from his perspective, maybe that looks a little fishy. But at the same time, it's COVID. No way.
Well, first of all, it's at the same time, and I've never been mean to you in my entire life.
Exactly.
I have always been nice. I'm sorry that I forgot your name, but obviously we didn't hang out. And, like, you've got a job, you're hustling, you're doing the thing. I'm sorry that it sucks, but, like,
I'm high right now. I can't do this.
well, and obviously, and here's another thing. Like, I don't know how many companies right now are begging for employees, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's not a job crisis in America. There's a people don't want to work crisis in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So, I mean, there's plenty of jobs out there.
Well, it's not in Chattanooga.
Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, a lot of people just don't want to work, man.
No.
And listen, a lot of jobs suck. I get it, but, like, you got to make money somehow. And I don't know what to tell people, but yeah, that was my second night on Delta 8 was having an interaction with that.
I will say this: the first night, I had an old bag of unopened Reese's cups.
Did you crush them?
They're from Christmas. They're still good.
Yeah.
But it was just like old Christmas candy from this past year.
Yeah.
Just sitting on my desk, and I was just like, "Oh shit, I've got Reese's cups."
Dude, I would probably eat my hand.
Dude, I every time I opened a new one, I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, you should.
I ate probably like 10 out of a 30.
Here's why I like it. So it makes you hungry. Food's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Your sense of, like, you see better, you hear better, you feel better. Literally, like, I walk around all day with my back tight and tense. Mm-hmm. It's at the end of the day, it's the only time my back, like, loosens up.
Yep.
And I don't have to, and that's why I sleep good, I think, because I'm not.
Oh yeah.
So stressed.
Oh, last night, I mentioned how I clench my jaw.
Yeah.
Especially when I sleep. Last night, it felt like something was in between my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Like, my teeth were open. My mouth was basically open.
Yeah.
But I felt like something was pushing on both ends.
Relaxed.
Yeah. It was relaxed, but it was like something in between. Like, it was like wearing a mouth guard. It was so weird.
Huh. It is strange.
Yeah.
I dig it though.
Yeah, I dig it real good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a hold of these Snapdragon hemp people and see if we can get them in the studio.
We should. So one of the other podcasts we did, we talked to some people from in town that do hemp. They do THC, CBD tinctures, all that stuff. And it's very interesting, at the very least.
So, not to spill too many beans, but someone I know very close to me brought up an idea the other day of opening or creating or building a CBD, like, hemp warehouse.
Yeah.
And growing, extracting everything, and putting together a store in town or selling it to the stores in town.
It would probably do a lot better to sell to the stores.
Yeah.
Be a wholesaler for them.
So he has a buddy that's up in Knoxville. They just put $1.2 million into him and his brother into a 10,000 square foot warehouse and a plot of land.
Damn.
And that's what they're doing. And based off the numbers that they're projecting, they will make their money back in 16 months. And then everything after that is a straight profit.
It's easy.
And if you have a CBD I guess you have to get a license or a store
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. But once you get your license to grow and all that stuff, you'll be one of the first ones in the state of Tennessee to be able to open up and sell legal THC once it becomes legal.
Mm-hmm.
Which is already legal, guys. It's called Delta 8. I mean, I don't get me a cop in here. I'll talk to them all day. Like, I mean, I don't know. They can't do anything about it. And honestly, I don't know the difference in if you had a bag of edibles from weed and a bag of edibles of Delta 8 THC. If it was both laying in the front seat of your car and you got pulled over by the cops, like, what are they gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do if you pop 500 milligrams of a Delta 8 brownie and you're driving 20 miles per hour on the interstate? What are they gonna do?
Here's my thing. There are plenty of laws in other states of driving under the influence.
Yeah.
That going back to like legalizing things, I don't think driving you should ever do when you're inebriated.
Yeah, but I also, I mean, listen, out of the times that I've driven with alcohol in my system and the times that I've driven with, let's call it Delta 8 in my system,
Yeah.
you're definitely a lot better driver with Delta 8 in your system.
You're more careful.
You're more careful than you are with alcohol.
I could see that.
Yeah. Very lucky throughout my college years.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very lucky.
Anyway,
All right.
it's been an hour. It was a good hour.
That was a fun hour.
Yeah.
So we got some things to do. I want to get maybe do some research.
Okay.
I want to get a Delta 8 in Chattanooga, like the extractor, a chemist. That's what I need in my life. And then I want my own Gunner Miller Delta 8 concoction.
We need to talk to Snapdragon. I wonder if we could do that.
Yeah, I will turn this into the Snapdragon Hint
Podcast.
Snapdragon Hint Chat with Gunner podcast.
Snapdragon presents Gunner Miller, the People's Captain, gambling podcast.
Snapdragon Hint presents Chat with Gunner, hosted by Gunner Miller, talking about Gunner Miller.
Sponsored by Zoa.
Sponsored by Zoa, and it's now Snapdragon Hint.
That's so funny to me.
Yep. And then I'm going to sponsor this up-and-coming MMA fighter so that I can ride his coattails to the UFC.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Yep. All right, I'm out of here.
Yep.
I will see you guys next week. I've got a long weekend, but we're going to wrap it up. Subscribe, like, review, view, do all the things you need to do on YouTube, on iTunes, on Apple Podcast, on Buzzsprout, on Spotify. And there's this new thing I just got an email about tonight. They said they already made me a profile. I don't know who they are. Verbal?
Never heard of it.
Look up VURBL. So I got an email tonight from Verbal. I guess they go through and they find all the podcasts and they create you a free profile. And then if you want to come in and enter your account, you can then take it over and it's yours. But they set it all up.
That's interesting. That's very weird.
Very interesting, very weird. Guy's name is Paul Limley. Thanks for the email there, Paul. So, yeah. And, dude, I don't know if you've been on the Chat with Gunner email, but, like, there's been several interview requests, which is hilarious. Like this one, Jacqueline H. Berry. She's a PhD cognitive scientist.
Bruh.
Hi, Gunner. What can a beauty queen, currently Miss Dutchess County, New York, who is also a Fulbright scholar, cognitive scientist, and tech entrepreneur devoted to the study and practice of expertise, teach us about living your dream and making the world a better place? Well, hi there, Miss Dutchess County, New York. But I am living my dream. How about I teach you how to take Delta 8 and get off my email address? How about that? All right, guys. I'll see you next week. We're going to do some content. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll do something.
We'll figure it out Tuesday.
And then we're going to start doing some workout content. And I want to do that thing with the IFBB Pro.
Yep.
And I want to do the MMA podcast. And then I want to do
everything.
We got a bunch of shit coming. This summer, a bunch of stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus got football coming up. I'm fired up about it. I've committed. I'm in. All right. I'm out of here before I start talking too long.